Hi friends, welcome to the channel and thank you for spending time with me today. I hope everyone is doing good and I hope you're enjoying a great summer. And along with this summer theme, I decided to pick one of the new puzzles I got from Springbok, and it's called Key West Inspirations. It's 500 pieces, and this actually arrived on my doors about a week ago. And I tell you, this puzzle was absolutely delightful to work on. It's so much fun. I love the colors. And when I actually was puzzling this, it was like I went into puzzling bliss. And you know what that means. That means every piece seemed to fit together so easily. It was easily recognizable, and I had no trouble whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I think on this puzzle, it was much faster and easier than on my speed running puzzle that I did in the previous video. And I'm sorry about the glare on the puzzle box. But this puzzle, if you hadn't seen my previous video, go check it out. I decided to speed run this puzzle, and it was quite an experience. Quite an experience. But one thing I also want to mention is that this puzzle, as I was speed running it, and this is going to be the great debate in the puzzling community, and I don't want to create any controversy, but I got to thinking, is a random cut, now let me know in the comments, is a random cut puzzle easier to build or easier to speed run than a ribbon cut? If this was an actual ribbon cut puzzle, I think it would have took me much longer. However, for the longest time I always thought, random cut are harder to work on, they're more challenging, and that's why I enjoy them. But after I worked on this and I got to thinking, if this was a true ribbon cut, it probably would have took me a lot longer. Let me know in the comments, and I know that's very controversial in the puzzling community, if which is tougher, the random cut or the ribbon cut. Nevertheless, I had a great time on this. There was no time pressure involved, but I went in, once I started it, I had a hard time stopping. You know what it's like when you get into that zone of puzzling and everything is just going perfect, you're relaxed, your mind is into it, and before you know it, you've put the thing together. So along with this theme of, I guess, Key West, and for you folks out there who don't know, Key West is an island, is a chain of islands that run off southern Florida, and they say they're very beautiful. I've never been there, but it's on my bucket list to actually check out. And when I think of Key West, I think of Ernest Hemingway, and I pulled some of my paperback novels that I had in my library. And these books I've actually had since I was in high school, and I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was. And I just remember that he seemed to have a dark writing to his books, but they were very vivid, and you felt the story. So I'll show those later on in the video and actually pull the covers and show you those vintage books. I've only got 4 of them here. But along with the Key West theme, who can go a summer without having a piece of key lime pie? This is one of my favorite delights. Every summer I have key lime pie with a glass of lemonade, and I'm in total bliss. Anyway, if anybody's been actually to Key West, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If it's a great place to visit, if it's a beautiful tropical area like I picture in my mind, because obviously someday I would love to go there. Now, one thing I want to also say is that I want to thank all those folks out there who've actually subscribed to my channel. It is, whenever I get a subscriber, and obviously I want subscribers who want to enjoy and watch my videos, but whenever I get a subscriber, especially at this stage when I'm new at this, it really touches my heart. And I hope that doesn't sound corny, but it really does. It makes me pause and think, wow, it's great not only that I'm getting subscribers, but potential friends that I can talk puzzles about and just have a conversation about this puzzles and actually enjoy this video content. Now, one thing I also like to say about this channel, and I'm looking at my notes here, this channel is that I want this channel to focus on Springbok puzzles. Not only Springbok puzzles, but there's various types of Springbok puzzles. There's contemporary or new, like this one you can get off the website today, and today is this is actually 2025, August 2025. You can get this website off the website today. This is a brand new puzzle they've got have out there. But I also like to do modern puzzles, which to me are like puzzles maybe 3 or 4 or 5 to 10 years ago. And then, of course, I'm going to do some vintage puzzles, and stick along with me because I do plan to go into my vault and dig out some my vintage Springbok puzzles. I think I have quite a bit of a good selection for you guys to enjoy and to love, and I will definitely put those together with you and do a time lapse of those and discuss those. Now, along with the Springbok, and this is what I also was contemplating, I'm like, well, there's a lot of channels out there that also review Ravensburger, Gallison, Buffalo Games, Blue Kazoo. Those are all fabulous brands. But I think on this channel I'm going to primarily stick to the Springbok puzzles because that's what I love, and I think there's a need maybe actually for that also. I have a whole channel dedicated to it. But one thing I'm also thinking about is that I will also pull some of the vintage puzzles of puzzle companies that no longer exist. For example, Eaton Jigsaw Puzzles. I have probably about a dozen to 15 of those puzzles that I've randomly come about, and I've collected those. And I think I'm going to pull some of those and maybe we put those together. Excuse me. So, and then I will pull some of my puzzles that I've got from the 40s, the 50s, and now this is going way back, like Picture Perfect, Guild, and I do not believe those companies still exist. Obviously, Springbok advertises itself as the oldest puzzling company in the United States, so I assume anything over 1963 is no longer in existence, and so I'll also be pulling those vintage puzzles and puzzling some of those. But anyway, let me know your thoughts so far on this channel, what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. I have thick skin, it won't hurt my feelings. I'm always looking to improve. I want to be somebody that you can enjoy and relax and watch my videos and have a good time with that. Now, you will also notice that on my timeline, my time lapses on these puzzles, I tend to go a little bit long. Now, I could put those on super fast and just put it on there real fast and it'd be done, and then the channel, you know, the video be over with. But I feel like what I like when I watch my the other YouTube channels that do puzzling, I'm always craving more. I'm always thinking, oh, I wish her video was longer. I wish his video was longer. And so on this, when I do the time lapse, I want you to be able to relax, sit down on the TV and watch it, or watch it on your computer or your cell phone and just relax and just enjoy the actual time lapse. I am struggling with the volume of the music and trying to get that right. I am new to the editing process, but I do plan to work on that. And one thing that would also I need to focus on is trying to learn to control, maybe I should do a voiceover instead of music on my time lapse. When I did it, I did practice some of the videos before, and I did a voiceover, and it just didn't sound good. And actually, when I was actually doing the voiceover at time lapse, it sounded sort of, well, obviously when you're watching the time lapse, you can see what is actually being done instead of me speaking about what is being done. So I choose just to put music over that. If the music is annoying, obviously mute it or just turn down the volume and enjoy the time lapse with that. But like I said, I do appreciate everybody who has watched my videos, who have tuned in, and I am so grateful for those who have subscribed. I can't wait to start this journey of this channel with everyone, and obviously I want to focus, like I said, on the Springbok puzzles because I feel like that's my passion. When I go into a thrift store and I find a vintage jigsaw puzzle, especially Springbok, I pause and I'm like, wow, I've got something else to add to my collection. But anyway, with that said, stick along with the time lapse, and I hope you enjoy that. And let me know in the comments what you thought of it and what you think of this video. And I'm going to also take this puzzle outside because I like to take it outside and let you see what it looks like under the light of day, and see how the sun reflects on it. Because in my opinion, the colors seem to pop. And I'm not sure if anybody else out there actually takes their puzzles outside just to see what they look like. Because in the inside of a room like this, artificial light, it really doesn't do your puzzle justice. Anyway, again, and I know I've said that about a million times, I hope you enjoy the puzzle, the time lapse, and I hope you enjoyed the channel. And thank you so much for watching. And with that, stay tuned and we'll see the time lapse, and enjoy your day. Bye now. Hi friends, it's time to start a new puzzle. I got this Springbok puzzle recently off from Springbok, and it's called Key West Inspiration. Look how beautiful this is. It's 500 pieces. Isn't that beautiful? Can't wait to work on this. Here's a side view. It's 500 pieces. Side view. And inside view. All right, it's time for me to open up this box and see what we got inside. There's a little notice of a free gift. Oh, and it's got a purplish, bluish background. Look at how colorful those are. Real nice. I like the colors of this so far. It looks like it's going to be beautiful. So let me get this bag opened up. And we'll take a look at these pieces. Wow. And as you know, on the Springbok puzzles, they do have quite a bit of dust. That does not bother me. I'm used to it. But I do like to go through the pieces once I throw them out of the bag and take apart the pieces that may not disconnect it properly. And honestly, this is part of the puzzling process to me. It's just something I always have done, and I've come to get used to it. Does it interfere with the puzzling process? No, it's just part of it. Take those apart. Look at these beautiful random shapes, these pieces. And if you watch my previous videos, you may notice that I like to also, once I take the pieces apart, do a little dusting of the pieces. And what does that mean? That means where I actually slide the puzzle to the side, flip the lid over, and I just gently rub the pieces together and make sure to deposit them into the other side, the other lid. And this helps reduce some of the puzzle dust and helps get rid of or take apart some of the pieces that may not have come apart. Just scanning these pieces real fast. And I do that till the whole puzzle is transferred to the other side of the other lid. The pieces are to the other lid. Wow, look at these colors. And of course we're seeing our Springbok shapes. That's the reason we get Springbok, because we love these random pieces. Look at this chunky monkey. I can't wait to work on this. There we go. There's another piece. And here's if I can show you the thickness of it. I don't know if it's doing it justice or not. But anyway, let me get through and dust these pieces. Gingerly rub them together. You don't want to be crazy and manhandle them and break pieces. And I'm almost done with this. And then what we'll do is we'll pour this out onto the table and start our sorting process and build this beautiful puzzle. Key West Inspirations. It's a brand new Springbok puzzle. And as you can see in the bottom here, I've got quite a bit of dust. So hang tight and I will get these pieces sorted and then we'll start building this. All right, as you can see, I've got my sorting tray. Now I've got this beautiful, wonderful sorting tray at the Goodwill, and it's actually for food for parties. And what I do is I have my various section. It's really heavy. Look how heavy this thing is. I mean, how thick it is. But I got this a few years ago, and what I like to do is put the edge pieces in the center and then sort by color. So I think what I'm going to do, looking at the puzzle, is actually do the buildings, maybe one and another. There's two, I guess, cabanas to do, and then maybe the sky, and maybe then the floral areas of it. So I'll be back with you once I get this sorted. Here's an edge piece there. And a lot of times when folks are actually puzzling the Springbok for the first time, they sort of get frustrated in the fact that Springbok does have some false edges. Not meaning false pieces or false fits, but false edges. In other words, edges that do look like it should be an edge, or a piece that should be an edge. Like this looks like it may be an edge, but I'm going to put it in the edge, but I do see it's got a little curve to it, but that may be a false edge, but we'll see. Try not to get frustrated in it and just realize it's part of the building process. It's part of the challenge, and I do like my challenges. All right, so let me get this sorted. That looks like a cabana piece. Cabana. Wow, I love the feel of these pieces. Give me some floral pieces down here. Maybe some sky. But yeah, I'm curious as if anybody else has this puzzle. I recently got it on Springbok's website. I'm always going out there to check for sales and stuff, and this one caught my eye, and I thought, well, gotta have it. All right, well, let me get this sorting going, and then I'll be back with you, and we'll start to piece this baby together. Okay, I've now got the puzzle sorted in its various sections, and I think what I'm going to do when I build this is actually build each building, or cabana I guess, the sky and the ocean, and then the floral pieces. But I noticed on here it has a has a rooster in the shot, and I can't wait to build this guy. And from my understanding is Ernest Hemingway, the famous author, had a vacation home in Key West. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to call this guy, this little rooster here who's strutting about, we're going to call him Ernest. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I actually sorted my different sections out. I've got my edge pieces in the middle. I put a cabana piece here, different one, the yellow one. Then I put the bluish purple cabana here. Over here I did the sky and the ocean bits. And then over here I did the floral and tree bits, which is quite a bit. And once I do the edges and move that out, I'll probably resort some pieces into here, maybe like tree pieces into this section. But I wanted to, before I moved on, I wanted to touch upon the free gift offer that was in the box. And as you can see that, they do offer a free gift, and I believe it is for a one-time free gift. So if you're new to Springbok, you go out on their website, you buy a puzzle, and you receive your puzzle, you take your free gift, and the code is on the back, and I'm not going to flip it over, and you can actually get a free gift. Now it does say here also on this front of this gift token is share your finished puzzle on Facebook, Instagram, or email for a chance to receive additional Springbok perks. And just to let you know, my free gift, I thought was very generous of them, was a few years ago, and I got this puzzle sorter from them, and it comes in various shapes and various colors, sorting trays I should say. And I love these. Look, there's hot pink. I hope the color's coming across right. Orange. Green. So these trays help you really sort out your puzzles. I usually use these on the big puzzles, like the 1,000-piece or more. But anyway, let me get to starting this puzzle, and I'll let you know how it's going. And obviously, if you can get this puzzle, go on out there and try to get it. This is interesting. Remember how I was talking about false edges? Well, here's one right here. This is what I was talking about. It looks like an edge piece, but look where it actually goes. It goes right there. So don't get hung up too much if you can't put the edges together right away. Just realize it's part of it, and still it's a fun experience. All right, as a status update, it looks like I've got most of the edge done. There are some pieces that I can't find. They're still in the tray. But look at that. It's coming together pretty good. I didn't have that bad of a time on the edges. I'm missing a piece here, and this corner edge, I got the part of the corner going, but that's missing. Yeah, I'm sorry about the shadow. But one thing I wanted to also tell you about the false edges. Look, I got this example. It looks like there's an edge there, right? That looks like an edge. And this looks like an edge. But when you combine these two pieces, there's no way that's going to be an edge. And that's really the fun part of a Springbok. It is a little bit on the challenging side at times, but you know, it's rewarding to be able to discover that and put the puzzle together, and it makes it a little bit more challenging, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, guys, I found the pieces for Ernest, and I want to put him in right now. Look at those pieces. All right, I'm about to complete this puzzle. I had such a wonderful time on it. This puzzle was a delight. It is so fun to put together, so relaxing, just like Key West, right? I had such a good time on this puzzle. I hate for it to come to an end, honestly. Now this puzzle would have been a better puzzle to speed run. And here we go, the last piece. Isn't that beautiful? And this is called... This is Springbok's 500 piece Key West inspiration. Look at the colors on this. Isn't this beautiful? Such a fun puzzle. And this is a new puzzle I just got off the Springbok website. And there's Ernest strutting about. Highly recommend this puzzle. Absolutely wonderful time. How did you like that time lapse? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed putting this puzzle together. What can I say? This puzzle was colorful, it was extremely fun to put together, and I had a great time. Highly recommend it. Now, this is a new puzzle for Springbok, and it is currently on their website. This is August 2025, so if you do like this image and you think you would like to have it, I urge you to go out there and get it. Now, along with the Key West inspirations, I pulled some of my Ernest Hemingway novels. I pulled 4 of his books, and the reason I chose Ernest Hemingway because he had a home on Key West. Now, the first book I chose was To Have and to Have Not, and this was later adapted into a movie starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Look at that cover art. And fittingly, this book takes place in Cuba and Key West. Highly adventurous book. The next book I have is A Farewell to Arms, probably his most famous novel. And this book was actually turned into a movie starring Rock Hudson and Jennifer Jones. A tragic story. Now, Ernest Hemingway, his books tend to run dark. His stories tend to run dark. And with that theme of his stories being dark, if you can't handle his full novels, then this book is a book of his short stories called The Short Stories. And the most famous, or the most popular story in this book is The Snows of Kilimanjaro. Another tragic story, but still highly entertaining. My favorite book of Ernest Hemingway is For Whom the Bell Tolls. And I think this book was adapted into a movie starring Ingrid Bergman, I believe. Anyway, this is regarding the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s. Simple cover art, but I do love that image. And if I may, without giving too much away, no spoilers, I don't give away spoilers with my books that I show. Let me read the first paragraph of the first chapter for you. Chapter 1. He lay flat on the brown pine needle floor of the forest, his chin on his folded arms, and high overhead the wind blew in the tops of the pine trees. The mountainside sloped gently where he lay, but below it was steep, and he could see the dark of the oiled road winding through the pass. There was a stream alongside the road, and far down the pass he saw a mill beside the stream and the falling water of the dam, white in the summer sunlight. Highly recommend this book. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you've read Ernest Hemingway or seen any of those movies. Let me know if you got this puzzle. Again, I highly recommend it. Now stay tuned. I'm going to take the puzzle outside in the sunlight and let you see what it looks like in the sunlight, because I think with under the sun the colors really pop on the puzzles. Anyway, again, I hope you're enjoying the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of everything, and I do wish you a great day. Bye now. As you can see, my cat Jody is now the star of the show, and the reason she's on here is because she has an extra toes. She's what we consider a Hemingway cat. Jody! Let us see your pretty face. Yes. She's about 17 and she's in retirement, so she's like, I've had enough. All right. You're my special girl. Yes, you are. All right, I've now brought the puzzle outside, and look how the colors pop under the sun. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely had a great time on this puzzle. So pretty. And let me get a little bit closer in on the puzzle so you can see without me putting a shadow on it. But look at this puzzle. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow, I love these random shapes. Love these random shapes. And there's Ernest. But look at that. And again, this puzzle is Key West Inspirations by Springbok, 500 piece. And you can't go wrong. I absolutely had a wonderful time on this puzzle. It's so beautiful. Ah, to be in the tropics. Okay, it's that time, folks. It's time for the one-hand pickup challenge. Wow, look at that. Isn't that fun? And ooh, it's really windy out here. I better put this down gently. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Springbok. Okay, I've now turned the puzzle over, and you can get an idea of the piece shapes. Try to zoom in without casting a shadow on it. Wow, isn't this fun? Love this. Isn't that nice? Now it's time for me to enjoy my slice of key lime pie and lemonade. Wow. Wow. Thank you, God. I am in bliss right now. Wow. Wow. That is heavenly. Beautiful. Margot, yeah, there goes my good washcloth. Come here now. What do you got? Give me that. Oh, these devil dogs. You're being a bad girl. Give that to Daddy now. Please. Please give it to Daddy. Please. Please.